Um, okay. I'm back. Are we together? Can you hear me, guys? Hello?
Yes, Madam Nancy, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. So, my name is Nancy from Tanzania, and I'll be the moderator of this webinar today. I would like to welcome everyone in this wonderful session as we celebrate International Family Day. Happy International Family Day, everyone.
Thank you.
My video. Okay, let me try. Okay. I'm turning it on. Just a moment. There. Okay, can you see me, guys? Hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So, as we're celebrating the International Family Day today, um, let's go throughout the history of Family Day so that we can be aware of why are we celebrating Family Day before going straight to our main topic of the role of the women in strengthening the foundation of the family. Um, International Family Day, uh, which is also referred to the family International Family Day, which is also referred to as the International Day of Families. Uh, it was initiated by the United Nations General Assembly in 1993, and the first celebration of the day took place in 1994. So, if we calculate the years from 1994 to 2023, it's like 19 years. 29 years. If I'm not mistaken. The United Nations declared the purpose of establishing this day about families was to promote awareness of the issues that surround families, as well as to increase the knowledge um, of processes that affect families, including social, demographic, and economic factors. So all aspects of the families and also in addressing the challenges occurring in the families. So each year, the United Nations declare a theme to go along with the celebration of the International Family Day. As we know, this year we are talking about the role of the women in strengthening the foundation of the family. Um, these themes each year are meant to align with and raise awareness for the various issues, problems, and situations that families um, that pass throughout the families worldwide. For instance, if we trace back into 2022, the theme was families and urbanization. And in 2021, the theme was families and new technologies. In 2020, it was families in development. And 2019 was families and climate actions, focusing on the SDG 13. Um, celebration of International Family Day every year brings with it a variety of new opportunities and ways to raise the awareness for the day. And in doing in doing so, the purpose is to improve the well-being and care of families around the globe. So I think for that short history about Family Day, International Family Day, we're all aware why was it declared since 1993. So, as um as we're going to our topic, which is the role of the women. First of all, I want to recognize every woman in this webinar today, as yesterday was Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, happy belated Mother's Day to all women connected to this webinar today. And in do we have women? Lord, mothers.
Yes, we do.
Yes, yes, I said happy Mother's Day, happy belated Mother's Day
Thank
to you.
you.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
as we're still celebrating the Mother's Day, we're also going to highlight on the role of women in strengthening the foundation of the families. You know, in the family, we have fathers, we have mothers, we have children who are blood related, and families are the basic unity in the society for the development. So each development that we see in the world is connected to families. The foundation is from the families. Now, as women are termed as special groups, do they have any effects or impacts in strengthening the foundation of the families? That's our topic today, and we're going to discuss it today. I hope you guys are gonna give your views out there, your your ideas on how women can participate, or do they really participate in strengthening the families, or is just the role of the father? As you know, in African culture, the role of the family, I mean, the role of the father is to provide for the families, but women are there just to keep safe the family, taking care of the children, and so on. So we want to highlight that. Feel free, guys, to give out your ideas. I heard that we have participants from Uganda. Do we have participants from Uganda? Participants from Uganda?
Yes. Yes, we are here.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Hadija, and participants from Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes, Madam Messi, I can see you there. Thank you so much. I'm from Tanzania.
Hi, we're here.
Hi, how
Oh,
are you?
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have I left anyone behind? I don't think so. So, our our first speaker today will be Doctor, sorry, Dr. Mohammed Reza Montazavi Nia from Tanzania. Dr. Montazavi Nia, are you there? Yes, I can see you. I can see you, doctor.
Yes, I'm here, madam.
Yes, so I'm very happy to announce you as our first speaker,
Thank you
and
to
you're
you.
going to speak about the role and status of women from Islamic perspective in family and society.
Exactly,
Is that what
exactly.
you're going to? Thank you so much. So without wasting time, I would like to welcome you.
Thank you so much. I think I have 15 minutes to go ahead. Am I right? So just
Yes, you do.
yeah, just first and foremost, I wanna extend my congratulations on this day of Women's Day and maybe Mother's Day. And I would like to start my speech with a short introduction. Then I will touch my main subject. But as far as the introduction is concerned, actually, I got this blessing to be in Tanzania for almost 4 years. And from the first day I came to Africa and to Tanzania, I was also in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, some other African countries, mainly East African countries. But the first moment I arrived Tanzania, and my observation was telling me that unfortunately there is a big problem in terms of the status of women in the society. So this question occupied my mind, that why the ladies are somehow marginalized in the society, or they have been deprived from some of their rights. And of course, the other problem that I saw and I observed was that there was a high rate of divorce in Africa, or separation, not actual divorce, rather separation, and a high number of widows in the African societies. So I was very wondering, and I got surprised when I saw this, this kind of, issues. That's why I did a very short research, and I was suspecting something, that maybe it is the result, or the, let's say, the fruits of colonialism. Then when I did research, and of course I had some classes on world big religions, I've touched some of the indigenous African religions, and I found that in the ancient African history we see a very high status and position for women, to the extent that in some of the indigenous religions of Africa, women have been considered as god, because at that time they couldn't find the relation between intercourses and bringing children. That's why they saw that the women are delivering babies, so they considered them as god, even as god, in some ancient and indigenous African religions. So when I saw that fact, and on the other side of the coin, I saw that nowadays the ladies somehow, to some extent, are considered as a second class citizens. So I did this research, and I came across to a fact which was very bitter for me, and it was a cry for me, that this way of looking at the woman in current African culture, mainly in East African, at least the culture which I've experienced, was the fruit and the results of colonialism. When they came and they saw the women, how they did have the properties. You know, in Africa, the women used to have properties under their own title, under their own name. So they used to be treated as a king, as a chief of tribes sometimes. And but it's very interesting to know that up to 1880s, in America itself, who is just holding the barrier of human rights and woman defense, the woman rights and other things, didn't the woman didn't have right to vote. Women didn't have the right to have a properties even on their own titles. But in African ancient cultures, in African, if we go deep to the history, maybe 5 centuries ago, we would find that women had the right to vote. Women had the right to have properties under their own titles. So this is something that
Um, Mr. Reza has lost connection, I think. So I can see him joining again.
My
Hello,
apologies.
Mr.
Yes,
Reza.
yes. My
Oh yeah,
apologies.
welcome back. Welcome back.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My apologies. So it was some histories about the woman's rights and what the colonialism they did with the African, understanding and reading from the women's. But later on, after the finishing the colonialism, they brought their own version and their own new formats of the family, which in the apparently they do respect the woman, but if we go deep to their thinking and this new version, we would come to know that even the new reading of the woman, which has been prescribed by the, let's say, colonialists, is based on quenching the desire of the man. It's, they are not looking at the woman as a independent, as a respected, individual who is supposed to be respected in the society, who is supposed to be concerned, who is supposed to be, treated well in the society. Or they brought women, they tried to recognize the woman in the society in order to sell their products, and they misuse the beauties of the woman in order to sell their own products. Or even if nowadays, if we go to the West, we would find that the woman, apparently they have an equal right to the man. But if we come if we want to just concentrate more, we would come to know that there are a lot of cases against, for the woman against man, that they have been treated or abused in the workplaces. So why all these things has happened? Because they didn't look at the woman as an individual who is supposed to be, be respected. So rather, they are looking at the woman still as a tool. That's why my today's topic was to try to shed light on the issue of women and their status, the role of woman, and especially mother in the family and in the society from Islamic perspective. So it was very short introduction. I hope we would get some points from that points. Now, if we want to study or let's say dissect the woman from the lens of Islam, we would say that I can summarize the look at the woman from the Islamic perspective into five main cores. One of them, the woman have been considered as a cause of peace and tranquility in the families. How? In the Quran, Surah Al-Rum, verse number 21, we recite أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها. Means what? Means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a woman for man and man for woman. Why? Because when man goes back to home, litaskunu ilayha, you would find and you would see peace and tranquility in that woman. So woman, by being in a family, will bring peace and tranquility to the family. So it is one of the points which is very deep, and if I want to just go deep to this, just explaining this issue, it will take maybe hours. So in order for us to save time and just give some hints for ourselves to let's say to discover more points, I'm just going to give the titles of my things. The second thing, the woman, according to Islamic perspective, which is based on the reality and based on the real world, is the cause of continuation of human generation. If there was no woman, how the human generation would continue? It was impossible. So the women are supposed to be looked from this perspective, that you as a woman, as a lady, are the reason, are the cause of human generations, continuation of human generation. So she has to be respected enough and accordingly. And in the Quran, Surah Al-Ahqaf, verse number 15, we say, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا. Oh human being, you have to respect your parents. Why? Because your mom was the one who took this burden on herself to carry you for 9 months in her stomach, and then to deliver you with all those hardships. So you have to respect her. You have to look at her as a cause of your creation, as a reason behind your creation. So it is one of another perspective, another look at the woman. Another point which has to be considered is that the women are subject to more spiritual upliftment. How? According to the Islamic teachings, there is no difference between men and women in terms of spirituality. So both of them are enjoying from the same spirit which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blowed in our existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I have blown from my own soul to your existence. So you have this soul, you have the same soul. So there is no matter, regardless of the gender, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blowed into us that soul and that spirit. So in Quran, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah An-Nisa, verse 124, says, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِنَ الصَّالِحَاتِ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنْثَى وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ فَأُولَٰئِكَ يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةَ. Regardless of the gender, man and woman who does actually good things, he will enter the paradise and he will be among the true faithfuls. So the women's, there is one point. Women are subject to more spiritual upliftment. Why? Because women mainly have their feelings are, let's say their feelings or their sentiments are a bit higher than men. And if we look at the, other good, characters like patience, the women have more patience than men. The woman can resist against the sins better than man. It is something which has been approved even scientifically. So from this perspective also, we can see that the women have more chance, or they are more subject to spiritual upliftment. It is also one point. The other point regarding the woman is when the women are introduced in Islam, Imam Ali alayhi salam says, Al-mar'atu rayhana laysa biqahramana. Means what? Means the ladies are like a flower. They are not the warrior. So how we take care and maintain a flower? We are supposed to treat it nicely, take care of it, see what is the need of that flower. We have to provide it. So usually human beings are taking care of the flower very diligently and very carefully. So Amir al-Mu'minin says, Imam Ali alayhi salam says that the women are rayhana, are like a flower. So you have to take care of them. Because if you're not concerned about the woman, if you're not treating them well, then there is a chance for the lady to get depression, to get things, or to face some problems. So you have to take care of them. Spiritual needs, I don't know, physical needs, let's say financial need, whatever is there, the man is supposed to take care of her. So it is also one more point. The last point is that the mutual respect between men and women. So according to Islamic perspective, al-khalqu ayalullah means what? Means all the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the children of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأَحَبُّهُمْ إِلَيْ أَحْسَنُهُمْ سَنِيعًا إِلَىٰ عِبَادِهِ. The one who is close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is respecting more to the children of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if I want to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if I want to get approximately to God, I have to treat the other side, the other gender well. I have to treat my wife in the house, my daughter, my sisters, my mother, and all the women around myself, and also the women in the society. I have to treat them well. Why? Because all of them are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if I want to get close and approximity to God, I have to treat them well. I have to be kind to them. I have to respect them as I'm expecting them to respect me. So it was one very short point. And my last point, in order to conclude, because I see that there is only 2 minutes remain from my time. Uh, Family, woman in the family has two main roles. Either she is playing a role of wife, or she's playing a role of mother. If she's playing the role of wife, so actually she is one of the main pillars of a family. If she is playing a role of wife, she is the internal backbone of a family. When there is no father, man is, so she is the one who is taking care of the children. She's the one who is taking care of the family and keeping the family bound and close to each other. And of course, mother is the one who is bringing peace to the family, as I've already mentioned. And of course, mother is the energizer. I wanted to put in this word. I want to use this word. Mother is the energizer, bringing the energy to the house, to the husband, and to the children. How? There is a saying from one of our imams, which says, "For man is nothing more precious than a wife, to whom when he looks, get rid of all the pains and become happy." So the most precious blessing on a man is to have a wife. When he is looking at the wife, get rid of a pain. How many of us are like that? How many of us are, are taking benefit of the existence of such a beautiful creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inside our house or inside our society? So we have to consider that woman is an energizer. You have to get energy. If you are not taking energy from your wife, from your, the woman in the society, especially, those the wife in the family, there is problem. From the counseling of the woman, as our imam says, there is no stronger backup than counseling. Means the best things in a family or even in the society is to get consolation from other people. And of course, woman as a mother and as a wife, as a one of the pillar of a family, can play that role, diligently.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Um,
You're welcome.
yeah, I can see you have so many things to talk about, but the time is not friendly. But
Exactly. I might still some of the point have
yes,
remained, but
yes.
let me just give the time to other sisters and brothers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have gained a lot of knowledge about the role of the women in Islamic religion. And if I
Thanks.
would
Thank you.
to summarize, you have talked about the role of women as peace creators in the family. Also, they're the one who have more patience, so they endure things in the family. And also,
Exactly.
they act as mothers and wives, and yeah, so they take care of the families, and also they're the counselors. And
Exactly.
um
Yes.
they're the flowers. You say they're the flowers, and so men should treat them better. And
Exactly. Yes.
yes, yes, yes. And lastly, you say that they're the energizer of the families. Men are
And it
used
does.
to be seen as tough, but women are more friendly. Yeah, so
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Um, I think we should go straight forward to the next to the next one according to the timetable. We have Dr. Kihumba. I think this is Mercy Kihumba. Are you there?
Hi, good morning,
Yes. Thank you
everyone.
so much. Good morning, Dr. Mercy Kihumba from Kenya.
Yes, yeah, sure.
And your topic is changing roles of women in the family, right?
Yes.
So you're welcome. You're
Um,
welcome.
all right, thank you. I believe it is morning for each one of us since we are all from the same region despite being in different countries. Uh, Kihumba is my name, and indeed, I know this is a very heartful topic, and people choose to be always conservative when they're talking about women, but if we were to look things in the real sense of how things are happening, we can actually decided to take a bit of a liberal perspective about it, because I know quite a number of times women have been described as a man's helpmate, and which is true, because anything or everything you give to a woman, the woman always multiplies it or makes it even better, or even if not better, it has to be more productive. And it is indeed true that women are key to sustainable development and the quality of life in the family, which is true. However, we are living in the 21st century and things are changing. Everything is dynamic and the world is moving very fast. We are living in times where women are not only doing their domestic roles, but they also happen to do even go to an extent of doing even more than what men are doing today. Whether we like it or not, we have seen that women are not only playing the role of only being a wife and a mother, they have gone to an extent where they are playing roles in assisting in the economy. They will do anything for their own families. So we have women are gradually adapting the double roles, not just of being a mother and a wife, but they are also going out there to assist in creating or generating an income in the family. To notice that some of the times, if not all of the times, we have to agree that domestic chores, which is the role of women basically everywhere, they do not generate an income. But things are changing. The economy is tough. Sometimes a man's wages is not sufficient enough to sustain the needs of a family. So the woman, other than doing domestic household chores, has to have something else they are doing to assist in bringing something to the family, because there is school fees to be paid, food to be put on the table. We are living even in urban centers where rent has to be paid. Hospital bills at times they crop up, they has to be paid. A man cannot solely be able to provide for these things. I am not refuting that there are times we still have women who are stay-at-home moms, but if we look at how fast the world is growing, we have quite, if not a majority of women who are still playing the double roles, and they're adapting it quickly. But something to mention why I say that there is some change in the role of women is because, one, more women are becoming more career-minded. Number two, women are now joining and venturing into job opportunities that were previously known for men. We have women in politics, we have women in engineering careers, we have women who are doing mechanics. We used to think truck drivers are only men. Today we are having women. The other day, so a woman from South Sudan and Uganda who are serious truck drivers. I mean, they are now doing things, exploring things that we could only see it for men, not because they are competing or trying to show they are doing better, but because circumstances, they push you or force you to do some things, because at the end of the day, we are still chasing something in the bag. But this does not make them less of women simply because they are doing jobs that are allegedly known for men. We have another group of women who also prefer to raise children by their own. I know we are so much bound to knowing that women, a family setup has to include father, mother, children, but we have to agree to a fact that we are in a world where some women just prefer to be single mothers. We have another group of women who totally do not want to have children. We have they would want to have a family, they would want to have a husband, but they don't want children. And even if they wanted children, they have surrogate mothers. So it is the world that we are in today. And we also have the issue of LGBTQI. I know it is against both the Christian and Islamic faith, but we will not refute that it is happening today. Whether I agree to it, we know it is not in the will of God, but since people are still engaging in it, we cannot crucify them or persecute them. They still have their right to live. We have human rights activists who are still fighting for them. But you see, among these 5 things that I'm mentioning is that there are still things that are evolving in a woman's world. And this is to show that other than the basic woman roles, they are also playing vital roles in social economic development. We have modern education and modern economic life. It has compelled women more and more to leave the narrow sphere of the family circle and work side by side for the enrichment of the society. But has it come to an expense? I know it has. Look at the quality of children. And by quality, I mean quote unquote, because nobody has the perfect guideline of how to raise children. But if we look at the children that are being raised in the modern times and previously, the generation where we would call the millennials and beyond, the quality of children, and I use still quote unquote, it is very wanting. We have quite a number of children that are ill-mannered, which is true. So we have one hand circumstances forcing women to help in building a home, but also it is, as they are assisting in building a home, it is depriving them time to raise their children. So we have children that are growing out of with a lot of distress situations. We have children growing that are not responsible. They do not, in as much as they have the motherly affection from between conception and childbirth and weaning, immediately after that they are lacking touch. They are disassociating with the relationship with their mothers, because of course, again, fathers have always been the providers. They are always out there trying to make sure that everything they need, everything the family needs is there. But now we have on the other hand women who are assisting also in in bringing also something on the table. And it is true that raising now of children has become a responsibility for domestic managers and even for schools. We have quite a number of times we've had teachers saying that if white not discipline has been left for teachers in school and not parents anymore. So as things are changing, in as much as for women, I have irreversible
Um, I think Madam Messi has network problems, and it looks like she had 2 minutes left. Madam Messi, are you there? Madam Messi? Okay. Um, I think she has a network problem, and when she'll be back, we'll give her 2 minutes to proceed or to conclude with what she was about to say. But in general, she was talking about the role of women in this globalization era. The roles have been changed, and we have seen now women also wants to go to work and help their partners in building the families, but the children now are left behind, as I've heard her well while speaking. So when she's back, we'll just give her 2 minutes to conclude so we can just proceed with the next presenter. while waiting for Madam Messi. This is, yes, this is Dr. Mariam Lugolobi. Dr. Mariam Lugolobi, where are you? Dr. Mariam, are you there? Mariam Lugolobi from Uganda. Yes, I think Dr. Mariam is not present at the moment. When she joins in, we'll give her a chance so let's proceed with um Hadija Omar. Hadija Omar, where are you?
I'm here.
Yes, Hadija, you can proceed with this time while we are waiting for Dr. Mariam.
Okay.
You press her. So welcome, Dr. Hadija.
Thank you so
And
much.
as I can see here, your your topic is women in the family and in society, changing laws and breaking barriers. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're Hajat Hadija, yeah?
Yes, I'm Hajat Hadija from Tanzania. Thank you so much. I'll start by touching as in our religion of Islam, a woman is glorified and she has been mentioned by many good and famous names. Indeed, there is a whole chapter in the Quran with the name of a woman and many things that have been mentioned about her and raising her. So for me, I say changing laws and breaking the barriers of women, as we have seen my colleagues from Kenya and the other colleague from Tanzania, they touch the base of woman responsibilities in the family. As we all know that women are the pioneers of the nation. Women are the key sustainable development and quality of life in the family. The varieties of role of the women we assume in the family are those like being a wife, being a leader, being an administration manager and of the family, and at least income. And last not the least, the women are very important as the mother. When we talk about breaking the barriers and changing the laws, we are talking about the taboos and the norms. If we want all the women to succeed, we need to have the same rights as the men have in decision making, in marriage, in divorce, in inheritance, and also the right as well as the women to play in the male dominated sector. It's a high time for us to agree that we are seeing many women are empowering each other. We are raising, as we have a good example in Tanzania now, we have a president woman, which also it's a platform for young girls who are breaking their barriers through social media to raise their voices. And when we talk about women in the family, we are also looking her as the primary responsibility for the child's habit of self-control, orderness, and also the mother is the responsible of the family when it comes to empowering in the society. We need to agree that women have a very big contribution in the society. And when we talk about this, sometimes it's a very sensitive discussion because many men, they may think that it's a gender quality thing. But now when we want to change the laws and breaking the barriers, we also have to look the drive of violence against the women and the girls. These are the things that we have to check so that we can enhance the competitiveness of the economy. When we talk about women, we need to take the measures to bring more women into labor force and to provide them with quality jobs. So from my end, I would like to see more of changing the laws and breaking the barriers, because you find that on the other side, when we talk about our sisters from Christian community, we can see how they are being advanced and how they are taken into boards compared with the Muslim society. The norms and the taboos are very big barriers. So according to, when we say that women in the family and in the society, I think it's time for men and women to agree that it's high time for supporting the ladies. Apart from being the wives at home, we should also make a step for them, because when we educate one woman, we educate the society. From my end, I'll just touch the base from there, since my colleague from IFM, Dr. Mwilu, will be joining. She will proceed from where I stopped at.
And thank you so much, Dr. Hadija. I mean Hajit Hadija. And um, as you say that your topic connects with Dr. Muila, I would like first to know that is Dr. Mariam present right now?
Yes, yes, I'm present.
Dr. Muila, yes, I can see you. I'm asking of Dr. Mariam. Dr. Mariam is not here. Messi is not back as well. So yeah, let's proceed with Dr. Muila Mulenga. And your topic is the role of women in the past and present, is it?
Yes, yes. Good
Welcome.
morning. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mwila Mulenga from the Institute of Finance Management. I'm responsible for teaching accounting and auditing subjects. My topic today, I think I'm going to talk about the role of women in past and present. I think a lot of speakers have already talked about the major role that women play in the family and also in the society, but my focus will be only I'd like to see whether the role of the women before, or I mean in the past, and also in the present.
Dr. Muila, we can't hear you. Dr. Muila, are you there? All right, I think it's the network problem, but she is about to explain the role of women in the past and the present. I think it was about the comparison of the role played by the women in the past and the role that are played by the women right now. Dr. Muila, are you present? Well, I've seen Dr. Messi from Kenya. She has just joined in. Dr. Messi, are you there? Dr. Messi? Messi Kihumba.
Hello.
Dr. Muila, welcome back.
I think I have a problem with the network connection, but I think I'm back. Very sorry. If we look at the role of women, earlier they were considered as only wives and a mother who have to cook food for the family, clean the home, and also take care of the whole family members only. They did not have any role in the household earnings. But if we look right nowadays, the condition has been improved, and a little bit, and their roles also have changed drastically in the age because of the different reason. I think it might be because of the economic reason or advancements of the technology. So if we go through, we can see that their roles have changed rapidly, and women now are involved themselves in getting high level of education, and also this creating an opportunity for them to work, and they're also playing a role in their family decision making. Like before, they were not involved in their family decision making due to one reason or the others. And also their roles have changed. If we look at the childbearing role, most of the women nowadays, they are bearing less number of children than they used before, because as you can see, most of the family, they have two or one children. They can even have give birth to a child at a very matured age. And if we look to the another role, most of the women right now, they have voices. Unlike before, most of the family also does not have male dominated, and we can see that women have stood against they have stood against domestic violence in the society. Even in the workplace, they can fight against sexual abuse and equality. And in most of the society, we can see also the child marriage has been stopped. And also, if we compare with the men now, they're doing now good with the most of them. They're trying to play the role that women play, and this year has been evidenced by sharing the responsibilities both in home and outside. And also we can see the role of women have changed in the workplace, as have already been discussed by the previous speaker. Most of the women now have entered in the workplace. They also aim for the family members, just like men. And however, if we try to compare the percentage of women in the workplace, is still less. But at least we have the chances also to be in the workplace like men. And also, it has already been discussed by the previous speaker about the involvement of the women in the outside activities. Women now are no longer staying at home, cleaning houses, maybe taking care of the kids. We are doing all those activities, but now we are no longer staying at home full time. We are going to the markets just for doing grocery shopping, and we are paying some bills, doing all the work that our men used to do before. So we are getting more involved in the outside work than before. And maybe I can a little bit had something relating to what I have been already discussed. In order to help the women to play their roles and strengthen the foundation of the family, I think it is very important for women to acquire information in terms of various aspects such as child development, healthcare and well-being, and also dietary and nutrition. But also, we as the community, or it depends with the as the community also, we have to give the women the women have to receive their rights on time, so that they can practice their roles on time and bring some changes in the family and also the society as a whole. Thank you so much. Hello.
Right. All right. Dr. Messi, I saw you back. And Dr. Mariam, are you already there? Okay. Um, let's discuss about this issue that Dr. Hajat Dijer and Dr. Muila has just raised, the comparison of the role of women. Hello, yes. The comparison of the role of women from the past and the present. Um, how do we see it? How did the globalization contributed to the change of the roles? And are the effects positive or negative? women now are educated, women now are working, um, women now are given positions in leadership. Is it is it contributing to positive effects in the families or negative effects in the families? So I would like to welcome everyone to air out your views about the issue. You can raise your hand. Yes, you can raise if you want to contribute on the matter arising. Dr. Wheeler,
Yes.
are you ready to start?
I think I have few statements relating to what you have asked me. I think the changes as bring something new to the family as a whole, because now women they have been involved in the in working place so that they can earn money and pay some sort of bills for the family. But in somehow it is not good, because most of for those women who are involved in the working place, and most of the time we are working outside our houses for a long time, and we are not giving much time to our family, to our kids, even our relatives. So you can see that it has brought some changes in our family, but somehow it causes some problems, because our children nowadays are lacking some sort of training from parents, especially a mother, because we have already focused in our career minded, we in our career, and forget about raising our kids in the way that we have been used to be raised with our parents. And another thing also, apart from that, I can say that even the relationship that we are supposed to build maybe with our family and the other relative that we have, also the bond now is not super as we used to have way back. I think because of the because of the changes that we have received in our roles as a mother, caregivers, and so forth. Hello.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wheeler. Um, Dr. Mariam, I can see you joining. Dr. Mariam, hello. Dr. Mariam. Um, Mariam Rashid. Well, I don't think if she's in a good position right now. Hmm. Dr. Mariam, well, um, we can proceed with the discussion. We can proceed with the discussion. I think Dr. Mariam is not in a good position, but when she's in a good position, she'll just join us immediately. So we can proceed with the discussion on the changing roles. Do they bring positive effects in the families, or do they bring about negative effects in the families?
We have a raised hand from Isa.
Isa, okay, thank you so much. You're welcome, Isa. Isa,
Thank you very much, previous speakers. I really appreciate that you are voicing out your concerns in regards to women and women in the contemporary world, women as you celebrate the International Family Day. But as much as women have been given opportunities to transform the community, their families, at the same time, they have neglected their cardinal duties. For example, the parenting. Most women, especially those who are in the corporate world, those who are given like leadership roles, members of parliament, and mention them, they have neglected their primary goals and cardinal duties of raising their children. They have left their children to nannies, to caregivers who are not trained to handle their children at home. They have neglected all their duties to the home assistants, or you call them maids. Every cardinal role has been left to the house assistants, and they have just concentrated on making money, neglecting their cardinal roles. As much as you change from the past to the present, you shouldn't neglect your cardinal roles and duties. Because if you leave, for example, you leave your children in the hands of someone who doesn't know how to treat children at home, and you only concentrate about money, how will the future be after 15 years, after 20 years, if you've neglected your role to someone who's not well trained to handle your assets, to handle your insurance? These are your children. You're a parent. You have parental roles to act on, but you've neglected your duties because you want to make money, because you are moving to the direction of the Western man. Thank you so much.
Messi.
Hello.
Yes, am I allowed to ask a question back to my brother, Isa?
Yes.
I'm here. I can listen.
Yes, I would like to ask, you said that women, we have neglected the primary responsibility since now the 20th centuries, we are seeing all the women are back to the men-dominated sector. And back to the question, what is the importance of a father in a child's life? If you say that women are the one who are responsible for taking care of the children and family responsibility, I would like to get some few tips from you. What is the importance of a father in a child's life? And what is the role of a father? Suppose I'm the wife, you are the husband. If I play all the role, and if something happens to the child, I'm responsible. What is your responsibility as the father? How are you going to value, or how are we going to be proud of you as a father if I step out to go and get something that will support the family or will change the society?
Okay. Thank you. 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 Thank you
Sorry. Okay, thank you very much, Hajat, Mariam. I didn't say that one side has to neglect the other, like roles and duties to one side. Both the wife and husband have equal rights in regards to parenting and also taking care of the children at home. We both have equal rights to play, just as the Islam indicates them. Everyone has duties and responsibilities towards the family. Yes, we have like husbands or fathers who neglect their roles, and also have wives of mothers who also neglect their roles. But on such an important day is when we call all partners to be responsible for their cardinal roles and duties. If, for example, a mother gets, for example, a job, it's not bad to work, but we have cardinal roles that we shouldn't at all ignore, because we are working. If you, for example, you want to bring in a home assistant, you have to train this home assistant to the best of your knowledge to alert her on how you want to handle your children. It's not that their husbands have also to neglect their roles as fathers. No, fathers should be real fathers, equally responsible. Then also mothers should also take on their roles as mothers. We need to see a mother in the life of her children. We need to see a responsible husband, a responsible father in the life of his children equally. Not that one side should do this or one side should do that. No, everyone should be equally responsible. If we decide to make decisions of working, both the husband and wife, we should have a central point of creating time for our family, for our children, not just ignoring them. You leave the home as early as 7 or 6, and you come back very late. You don't know what the children go through. You don't know what they watch on TV. You don't know what they eat. You don't know who they pray with. You don't know what happens. And this goes from January to December. You don't have family holidays where you interact with your children to find out what is in their minds, what they are thinking about. How about the school? Do you have time to visit your children in boarding schools? Do you have time to sit with your children at home to check their books, to find out about how they make decisions, to help them in decision-making process? Or you just give them food, you pay school fees, and that's the end of life. But how will the children be after 15 years, 20 years? We've seen parents crying after 20 years because they didn't give time to their children. It's not only to the women, even to the fathers. We are all equally responsible. And on such important days, it's when we should call ourselves back to the drawing table. What should be done? What's the way forward? Things messed up here and there. Then we need to have a way forward and what to do. Thank you very much.
May I kindly chip in, moderator, please? I don't know if we have the moderator online.
Please proceed.
Okay, I wanted to kind of answer Issa. Issa, thank you so much for your submission. I have a feeling Issa is responding from some kind of a personal feelings. You've got like personal feelings over this, which is not bad. But given the fact that this is somehow a very, very sensitive topic, and I think when we start discussing it, especially with Issa present, we shall never agree. Somehow it will roll on like two forever. But my opinion here would be that when it comes to parenting, we need to stop the blame game. We, for God's sake, are in the 21st century, and we have women, they have careers, men have careers. when it comes to parenting, I think what should be done is that it should be a responsibility of both parents. Let's break this patriarchy of taking it that it should be the mother who should take care of the children. Both mother and father have a responsibility. Otherwise, when we go back to who is supposed to, for example, one would ask, why do I even go to work? We have the head of the family. The fact that the mother has to go out there, wake up at 5 o'clock and come back at 9 o'clock, it means that there is a missing link somewhere, somehow. The head of the household has not been able to provide what is supposed to be provided. So please, let's work together as parents when it comes to child raising, and we should stop the blame game. Thank you so much. I submit.
Yes, Sajat, you can take on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Issa. Maybe I was wondering. Looks like the moderator is offline. Can you kindly maybe look through our presentation list to see who is next? Because looks like our moderator is temporarily off.
Yeah, it's better you start from there. You pick it from there.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. My name is Katwangole Hadija. I'm in Uganda. I'm Ugandan. I work with Kampala International University. And I would like to take this opportunity to, first and foremost, congratulate all mothers who are here for yesterday's Mother's Day. Can say that all mothers, you rock, you're amazing, and you rule the world. I also take equally another opportunity to congratulate everybody on today's International Family Day. I can see people have joined. My friend Sophia Namiyingo from Makerere University Business School is also here. Sophia, you're welcome. And of course, everybody, you're welcome. So I was given a task of talking about the topic, the role of women as caregivers. And I thought this would be kind of a slide share thing, and actually I'd shared my slides, but since everybody has decided not to share their slides, then I'll go with the bandwagon. We can roll, maybe whoever is interested can get my slides from Issa. So when we look at my topic, women as caregivers, I mean, when you look at first and foremost, let's get back to in 2015, the United Nations member states unanimously adopted the SDGs. SDGs, or the global goals, are a set of goals that and of course with the interlinked objectives are designed to serve as a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future, aiming at solving very many global problems, which include elimination of poverty, discrimination, abuse, and preventable deaths, addressing environmental destruction, and of course ushering in a new era of development for all the people everywhere. Families and family-oriented policies, therefore, are very, very vital if we are to achieve these objectives, or sorry, these goals, or the Sustainable Development Goals. And that is why actually it is incumbent on us that every year we all come together and see how best can we use family to solve some of our very many problems. So on that note, I would like to thank the Iranian Embassy and the Cultural Centers for organizing this day. This is really very important. So when you look at all these goals are very interlinked. Now, let's come back to reality. We live in a patriarchy society where there are specific gender roles between men and women. Like Issa was telling us, women have neglected their job of looking after children because this is what society believes in. It is the job of the woman to look after children. And This job has been dictated by very many factors. Of course, the job is not only to look after children, but also other roles. And these are dictated by several factors. For example, the ethno-religious ideologies. The Quran obligates us as mothers to look after children, economic factors, and maybe other social cultural factors. I believe many of us who are here are African, and we know when it comes to motherhood, society rules that it is my job. I'm the one who is supposed to wake up in the middle of the night when the baby cries, and the other gender will pretend they are so asleep. So it becomes therefore my job as dictated by my culture. Now, these same factors also inform the assignment of resources and responsibilities, but it's very unfortunate that they are laden with inequalities between men and women. And in most cases, they often give women the very, very heavy burdens. I mean, think about it. If we are really to wake up, both of us, husband and wife, we wake up at 5 and we come back in the evening at 5, how dare you expect me then to be the one to know how whether children have done homework? Why not you? We were outside the house making money, as Isa said. We were promoting, I mean, we were all growing our careers. So you see that if you expect me to come back and I be the one to look after the children and not you, then I think somehow, somewhere, this becomes unfair. We have had very many studies that reveal that family remains the most important, primary entity in caring for individuals through socialization, trust, reality, and of course interfamily cooperation. And sometimes people are going to give in their best. The women are the ones who are going to become responsible. For example, when a family member is sick, even when it moves away from just family, when you look at, for example, the caregivers in hospitals, the home caregivers, those who give like hospice, you see that it is mostly women who are doing all this work. This means that as these people are given or are overburdened by this extreme work, it is adding already on their burden of the domestic chores. And this is also, like we know that in most of our African cultures, it is the role of the woman, for example, to cater for the domestic family needs. You have to make sure that there is water in the house, there is food. In societies where we are using, for example, fuel wood energy or firewood energy as the main source of energy, you have to make sure that there is charcoal in the house, firewood in the house. So you can see that this is overburdening them. Now, as if that is not enough, the 21st century has also presented us with other compounding issues. 2019, 2020, 21, we saw the COVID-19 that exposed these overburdened women to very many other social problems, poverty, domestic violence, sexual violence. And this actually was because most of them were tied home. They could not engage in any income generating activities due to limitations that were put in terms of movements, as was imposed by the different countries. As if that is not bad enough, the world now is grappling on the effects of climate change that has equally worsened the burden by increasing, actually, problems of resource scarcity. Women, apart from tending to family, they have to walk long distances to look for water. And sometimes it is during the dry season, and the available sources of water are not enough. So they have to walk long distances to look for water, look for firewood. And this has had not only socio-economic impacts, but also health impacts. It has deprived them of any of any, sorry, it has deprived them of any free time. So now they cannot engage in education, other income generating activities, or even participation in decision making. Basically, this home care thing is keeping women in some form of poverty. And worse still, as they concentrate here, these roles are not even acknowledged, they are never recognized and never rewarded, yet they must be fulfilled without fail. And this is where we need to come in and change. Why do we have to be the ones to do everything? How about we get some little help? We have seen very many studies. For example, a 2017 Oxfam survey found that one in every three rural women in survey districts of Uganda and Zimbabwe reported injuries and illnesses because of this extra load of unpaid care that they do. They are never paid for that domestic chores, yet the only thing we expect them is to work hard and harder and harder. And even when they really get this intrinsic satisfaction from themselves, as in, I become happy when I care for my children, but I think somebody out there should thank me, should appreciate me, and really acknowledge that I contribute to solving very many earthly problems and maybe achievement of the sustainable development goals. So what can we do? There are lots of things that we can do, but among them, for example, we need to change our mindsets so that both men and women can take family care as a personal responsibility. And I think this is directed to Isa Katungulu. We need a mindset change. There is nothing that women have neglected family care. Parents have neglected family care. And if any change has to be done, then parents have to change their mindset. Let us get some little help because we really deserve it. And if we redistribute care responsibilities among all family members, we do not only obligate our girls to wash the utensils, then also we have to call upon our governments, the civil society, political and religious leaders, social leaders. They should all capitalize on the urgency of policy formulation so that we can shift our mindsets and we engage on both boys and men as responsible actors in the family care. That was my submission. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Hadija. It was a very wonderful brief, and I hope our brother will take some few points. It's high time we go with a new generation because we see the social media is out there. And if we are not careful, we might lose our upcoming females. Since the moderator is not there, maybe we can just open the floor to hear the views from other participants. I can see Afmani, you are there. Can you tell us something as we are saying that we need to strengthen the role of women in the society? Do you have something to say?
Good morning, everybody. I want to take this opportunity, first of all, to say anything. You give opportunity to wind up her presentation.
Okay, thank you, Atman. I hope now I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Just before the network started buffering, I was about to conclude that we're in a world where we have concepts of shared household jobs, shared parenting. We have flexible workplaces, which are slowly gaining popularity. And we are really trying to live in a world where we envisage gender to have a gender equal world. And this then should again trickle down to have a gender equal families, where we do not have one side has to be, one parent has to be overburdened over the other. It has to be it's when raising children and when having a family, it's a two-way traffic. So your input as a father and your input as a mother, it results to the kind of children that you're going to raise. It cannot be left solely to one side or to one parent. Also, we are still stereotyping women as domestic workers even today. The same thing that was happening during my great grandmother's time, the same stereotyping is there, in as much as the world is fast moving. And what we do not note, or what we fail to acknowledge, is that domestic jobs, men do not consider domestic jobs as jobs simply because it does not bring an income in the family. Yet, we also fail to understand the kind of effort and input women put every day to make sure that that is done. And the only tragic fate, or the tragic thing that we have, is that there is little, or rather minimal, appreciation for women in terms of how, both in kind and in cash. Because anyway, it's like we are accustomed to it. Rarely do we get to hear even a thank you, a simple thank you on a normal day. Why it not for, or if it's not on maybe a Mother's Day or on your birthday, rarely would you find someone mentioning at the end of the day, your husband mentioning, thank you for preparing a meal, or thank you for ironing my clothes. So the appreciation level is very minimal. Least leave alone
Unless
in
you
kind.
demand for it.
Exactly. So, and we yet again, if the man provides for food, they've done, like, they have settled some of the bills, we always acknowledge that. So we see, this is where I'm saying parenting has to be a two-way traffic, and we cannot leave the role of the holding of a family. I know we are being called pillars, which is true, and it is okay, but how strong is this pillar? I need to ask women out here, how strong is this pillar? Are we just piling up things on a pillar that at times it's broken, at times it's shaky, at times it feels like it is weary and it needs some more support? So we appreciate the fact that we are called pillars, but I need to ask women, how strong is this pillar? Men need to ask themselves, how strong are we strengthening this pillar? And I would say that let us acknowledge that women in the family sphere we are undergoing a paradigm shift, whether we like it or not. Something is happening. This is happening in the way we are influencing gender understanding in the society. The roles expected of them, they are still the same. It has not changed, whether be it in the days of Abraham and even the days of today. The responsibilities and the roles expected of them are still the same and constant. The only thing that has happened, there is an addition, that they are also becoming wage earners, because truth be told, a man's wage alone is not sufficient to cater for the family needs. That is why, the women are going out there to do something to assist in the economy for the well-being of the family. And we will say that women are also needed, very, very needed, to support the stability and prosperity of a family. And I would conclude by saying that, by the definition of a family, regardless of how a woman defines a family, because I started by saying a family could include father, mother, and children. A family could include a mother who wants to raise children on her own. A family could include a woman and her husband, and she doesn't want children. A family could include a woman who just wants to have a surrogate mother. She doesn't want to bear kids alone, and that is her, it's her choice. So whatever, regardless of the definition of a family in this context, let us treat women with respect, and we let us learn to appreciate them more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Macy. Looking at the timetable, we only have 11 minutes to wind up. If we could have the speakers who presented earlier, if they can have something to comment after Macy winded up very well. And I think it's high time we come up with more discussion and open up sessions so that we can have more input, so that those who have not changed their mindset, it's high time. So as we see, the world now is changed. Children are going on another world, and all the pinpoint is on the women. Women are not taking care of the children. Women are busy with their jobs. Women are busy watching serials. So we need to have more discussion, and I'll be happy to hear more from the men in the house. What are their views after hearing from Macy, from Hadija? What are you winding up by telling us? How are we going to strengthen the foundation of the family in this century world? We are seeing things that are not from the century where we saw our grandmothers and grandfathers going through. Karibuni sana, those who would like to say a few words, the floor is open.
Hi. I think, may I talk?
Yes,
Oh,
please.
you may talk. Thank you, Hajat Adijer. I was offline. Thank you for assisting. Dr. Reza, you can proceed.
Yes, thank you so much. Alhamdulillah, it was very good discussions which has taken place during these last 2 hours. And I just wanted to highlight some points. You know, at the beginning of my speech, I tried to highlight the role of colonialism on changing the mindset and, of course, the status and positions of the woman in African societies. But you know, when we are talking about colonialism, we have to take it into consideration that sometimes they prescribe for us a prescription which we are not aware of the hidden, you know, agenda behind it. You know, talking about this issue, I may quote a sentence from Rockefeller. I don't know how much of I think all of you, alhamdulillah, knows this Rockefeller. This Rockefeller family or Rothschild families are the family which are trying to manage the world. You know, according to themselves, they raised up the issue of the let's say two taxpayers in one family. Two taxpayers means what? Means two wife and husband working both. So when they have been asked why two taxpayers is more important, is very important for you, they have mentioned that, you know, when two people in a family, parents, are going out for work, who is going to take care of the children? Of course, they have to send the children to the boarding schools. And you know, it's very interesting. If you go every part of the world, you would not see the number of boarding schools which you can see in Africa. And I think it is a pre-planned for Africa. So you have a huge number of, you know, this boarding schools that the parents, they don't see their children for a long time, almost maybe for 1 month, for one, maybe for one semester, up to the time that either the children got, you know, graduated, or they see any kind of, you know, holidays in between of their semesters, so they can go and see the families. So what will happen in the school? According to Rockefeller, when they are in the school, we are planning for their education. So you see here, the element of the family can play a very vital and very important role. Why? Because if you go to the advanced countries, in very, you know, those countries which they called advanced countries, if you go, you cannot see such a high number of the boarding schools. So why? Because there is a there is a system that the family can take care of the children. I don't mean that it's the responsibility of the wife to take care of the children and man is supposed to go and work outside. No, I'm saying that they have to share this responsibility wisely in a way that the children would not be deprived from their parents and the father and mother being with them. And unfortunately, in some of the African communities, we see that the children, as my brother, I think Katungulo, if I pronounce it rightly, he has mentioned that we have a children who are not visiting their parents for a long time. Why? Because the children are in school. So why they are in the school? Because all the education system have been prescribed by them, by this Rockefeller family and other families in the world who are managing the world. So we have to be a bit. I think we need to open our eyes, as all of you are, alhamdulillah, open-minded, and you are concerned. You're concerned even regarding the woman's status, is to how to improve the woman's situation in the society. But we need to understand also the agenda behind all these beautiful slogans that we are hearing. Human rights, woman rights, I don't know, these, even the homosexuality, LGBT, and all these kind of things which they are bringing up, and they are putting a word right before these things. Human rights, or let's say family right, woman right. This right is not a real right. Rather, they are going to take advantage from sometimes our negligence, and they are trying to impose some of the plans that they have already planned for us in order to deviate our society from the right way, from the straight way. As I mentioned in the beginning of my speech, in the ancient African or indigenous African cultures, the women were playing a role in the family, very important role, even sometimes better than men, but not in a format that now we are seeing in the society. So that's why I'm saying that we have to see, we have to read the agenda behind all these things, and sometimes these are the traps that they have put, and sometimes we are putting ourselves in those traps without knowing it. My apologies for prolonging the discussions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Reza. If another speaker is about to contribute, you're welcome. Another speaker about to contribute, you're welcome. If I were to contribute, maybe I should air out my views while others are still processing on what to speak about. If I'm about to air out my views, is that yes, women and men should work, but we have to understand our responsibilities in the family. Men should give a chance to women to practice their mother or wife roles, because sometimes women are driven to be more busy because they're not given that much chance in their families. Some men are just irresponsible, um, that pushes the women to start to work for the family. So you can find a woman playing both roles as a mother and as a father at the same time. Therefore, it is very difficult for this lady to handle the family as it was supposed to be handled. But if each in the family are giving each other chances to practice their roles, I think um, women will have time or will have more opportunity to practice their mother and wife roles as well. And also in the institutions, this working or education is done throughout institutions, work institutions, and education institutions as well. So I think that women should be placed more in a very what should I say? In a very special way. Should be regarded in a very special way. As here in Tanzania, I can say women who are pregnant and who are just after delivery are given special cares, which may help them to practice their mother roles in their families. When a woman delivers a child, she's given almost like three, 3 months to stay at home with the kid, so that that child, because the child is a young, I mean a newborn, she needs some mother. So in the institutions, they can exceed this into even working hours between men and women so that women can go and practice their mother roles um, effectively in their families. And if just to give advice to my fellow women,
Nancy, we can't hear you. Can we have someone else as we are waiting for Nancy to join back?
Brother Uthman Faris raised the hand.
hello.
Hello, good morning again.
Good morning, how are you?
Very fine.
Um,
Thank you very much.
unfortunately, I can't hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, welcome back, Nancy. We can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted just to contribute a little as we celebrate this International Family Day. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine. As we celebrate this,
What's this key? What's going on?
I would like to say that.
Hello?
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me now? Okay. As much as women have been empowered in one way or the other, but I feel that more has to be done. More has to be done because we have environmental issues that still affect the roles of women in the current world. And because of the constraint of time, I'll just go through them very fast. Because we still have some cultural and societal norms that still affect the roles of women, and some of which make them to be, stereotyped. They are backward norms. that people still feel that a woman is the sole person who has to take care of family issues. Yeah. So the other issue is about legal and policy frameworks. I believe we need to do a lot. Our governments have you know, to work more on the legal framework and policies that empower women and also provide equal rights to raise our families. Otherwise, we leave our families to be raised by our domestic workers. So let us have, you know, some legal and policy frameworks to make sure that a man and I mean a wife and a husband come together also to support their families instead of leaving this role to maybe a domestic worker. The other issue is the economic factors. You find that due to economic factors, you find that some roles that both partners in a family are really neglected. So we need to find a way how we can balance uh, these issues, the economic factors, because we tend to get carried away by the economic factors and neglect our cardinal roles of raising our families. Access to education is also another thing. We need to do more. We need to have educate our women, our children, our girls so much, without forgetting also the boys. We are now in the technology and digital divide, whereby these digital platforms can either widen or broaden our gender divide. But we should also, you know, create a balance whereby the technology does not come in to spoil our our you know, our platform, our foundation of a family. Uh, this also takes us to some social and support issues. We find that you know, this networking is also another thing. Uh, and it plays a very significant role in women's empowerment. So we find that networks that provide mentoring, advocacy, information, and emotional support to help women change their gender norms, build confidence, and access resources to expand their roles. We have this issue of also gender-based violence and safety. This is something that we have to look at it so that we don't view our women, our girls, our wives as punch bags. So we need to protect them. I heard our brother Mohammed Reza said that he quoted from Islamic teachings that a woman is like a flower. And when you have a flower, you have to take care of it. It is something that is delicate, so you need to take care of it in order to have harmonious environment in the family. So as I wind up, it is important to recognize that the environmental factors interact and influence each other. Addressing these factors requires a comprehensive approach involving legal reforms, as I said, educational interventions, economic empowerment, cultural shifts, and social support networks to enable women to take on diverse roles and contribute to society on an equal footing with men. So let us not refrain women. So let us not stereotype them. Let us not brand them as, you know, they're supposed just to be in the kitchen or in the bedroom only. They have diverse roles to play because a woman is the foundation of any society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brother Athman Farsi. We have left with like, I can say 5 to 6 minutes. I would like to welcome Mr. Morteza from Iran and Iranian Cultural Center here in Tanzania. Um, you can give us a word of winding up. Welcome, Mister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Morteza. It was nice having this webinar session. And thanks, special thanks to the Iranian um, Culture Center in Tanzania for coming up with this idea of celebrating this International Family Day. Um, it's a great opportunity for us, and it's a good platform for us to come and air out our views about our perception on families in general, not only in women, but in families in general. If we have to request, we may request even a physical um, discussion so that we can have more time, more space, and we can avoid all the network problems like the ones we were having here. Yeah, so if we will be having a physical meetup in the future, it will be great. Yeah, thank you. And I would like to thank everyone who participated in this webinar session. You guys are awesome. You guys are very smart. You aired out your views very well. Thanks to all the presenters from starting to Mr. Reza, Dr. Reza, Madam Hadija, Dr. Mwila, Madam Mercy, everyone who aired out your views, Mr. Katungulu, Brother Afam, and everyone. We say thank you so much. Thank you so much for your participation. I think we have like 3 minutes uh, left, so the webinar session is over. We can check each other through WhatsApp group. We can chat and get to know each other well. Anyone who wants to give a word of thanks or a word of acknowledgement? Oh yeah, yeah. Mr. Morteza, you can end up the meeting. I think everyone is okay. I say you can we can end up the meeting. I say we can end up the meeting. Oh, thank you so much. So you're gonna share the link? Okay, okay, great. Hello. Mine is working. Yes. Yes, I'm really sorry. I was so tired, but Alhamdulillah. I wish I can
Thank
speak
you,
now,
sir.
but I don't know if
Sir, sir, any feedback link या attendance link?
a member is still on. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mariam Nachigude Lugolobi. I'm sorry that I had an office meeting that took long. It was necessary, I had so many issues to sort out. But Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to be with you at this time. My topic was to discuss about the role of women in the education sector. First and foremost, I'm going to start with am I heard? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I was saying that I'm seeing it's an African conference, which is good. But here in Uganda, most of the families may be in the villages. I'm going to take my own example that if it wasn't a role of a woman who was educated, most of us wouldn't be educated, especially here in Uganda. You look at families, for instance, you have a father, you have a mother, but if your mother doesn't put a lot of effort in you, for instance, I was taken to good schools to acquire to good schools, not because of my dad. He had the money, but my mom took the initiative of saying, let us go to better schools. Because the schools that were around all of them, by that time, nobody reached P7. So if it wasn't a woman who was educated to take me to those better schools, I wouldn't even be speaking right now. So these women, they inspire. Yes, I'm not. Am I heard? Hello. Okay. Yes, I was saying the women inspire the children. If us were educated, can go back to our villages. If us were educated, can go back to our villages and meet these young people, have a meeting with them, see the value of education, let them see that you have been educated, you're somewhere, you have the money to do all the things you want to do. These young people will be also encouraged to go back to school and study. And probably they want to be like you. That is one way of inspiring. But if we just stay here in town, where most of the kids are taken to school, it will not be a better chance for these other young people in the villages. They advise and they act as role models. Look at families or look at people who have big positions here in government. For instance, if the speaker goes back to the village where she was born from and she encourages these young people to go back to school, she shows the value of education. She shows that she's a speaker because of education. These young people would be looking at her as a role model. You look at the positive impact of the girls. For instance, most of the girls in the villages, they end up maybe in P6, even not P female teacher, and they tell her their problems. She comes
they'll end up being encouraged to come to school because they have someone they are speaking to at school. And this is because someone is educated and these young people, they are looking up to her. Retention in school. Most of these challenges are not in the Kampala schools. They're in the rural areas. You go to school and you find that most of the girls, they don't finish their senior for why? One, if someone got in their periods, they will stay at school or they will stay at home for a week until maybe they are done, because they don't have the requirements of pads. They don't know what to do, what next. They are shy that their colleagues are going to laugh at them. But if we have these female teachers at school, also they'll help us to act as an inspiration for these young people to start school, because they will tell them that it also happened to us. We also go in our periods and we just come here and teach you. And they tell them use the clothes or use the pads to stay in school. In that way, this student is not going to miss out on any, they're not going to miss out for the lessons. So they'll be retained in school because they have someone they speak to. So I'm encouraging any educated person, especially the women out there, don't just stop on your job. Don't just sit on your job and you say that I'm educated and I'm done. Go back to those people who cannot help themselves. Speak to them, encourage them. Tell them that anything is possible. You can be like me. I'm here because of education. And that way, we shall act as role models. We shall act as inspiration people. We shall even hope these people to be positive and they want to be like us. You have given me 3 minutes. I hope my 10 minutes are done. Thank you.
Goodbye.